Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Ed Barry here, and just to give you a little bit about my background, I was born and raised in the Republic of Guinea, spent the first 14 years of my life there, and I ended up moving to New York City, right? And living here in the US, growing up in an immigrant household or living around minorities for the most part, one thing that always comes up, and that's the topic of conversation or a lot of pain for most people, is usually this thing called money or the subject of like finances, right? So found it interesting. I read up a lot on it and just wanted to get better at it, and then also try and help other people in the process, right? So I went to school, I studied economics, I read as much as I can on money, finances, and budgeting, etc. And just wanted to share a couple of tips and some things that will help you get towards your goal for this year and also for the long run going forward, right? So a lot of the things that I'm going to share is actually going to be based off of Dave Ramsey's book, The Total Money Makeover. I highly recommend it. It's been super helpful. And there's also a YouTube channel and a podcast that you can check out online to help you keep going on your journey, right? Now, when it comes to money, the first thing that you want to get good at, and that'll make your life so much easier, is this thing called budgeting, right? For most people, they work, they get paid, they pay their bills, they go out to eat, they go shopping, etc., etc. And at the end of the month, they look around and then there's no money left over, right? So if you don't tell your money what to do, it'll automatically go all over the place, right? So the first thing that you want to get good at is this thing called a zero-based budget. So before you even get paid, you tell your money what to do, and it makes your life a lot easier, right? So what you do is before you get paid, X amount of money goes to rent, X amount of money goes to bills, X amount of money goes to savings, X amount of money goes to food, etc., etc. So by the time you get your paycheck and you allocate everything, you'd have no money left over in the account, right? You'll have the minimum balance to make sure that the bank doesn't charge you, but now you don't have money that you're going to splurge on, right? Because just like you, we're all humans. If you look into your bank account and see $500, the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, how do I spend my money, right? But if you work with a zero-based budget, you don't have to worry about that because all the money goes to the right places, right? And when it comes to money, a couple of things that I found surprising as I started looking into it and do research were this. The average 50% of Americans don't have enough money to cover a $400 emergency, right? $400, which I thought was like crazy. And this is not like 19-year-old. It goes all the way up to 40, 50-year-old, two household families, mom and dad, both working, both making a professional income, but they don't have enough cash to cover a $400 emergency, right? So it tells you how crazy we've got in our culture and how we need to take a step back and learn a little bit more on it, right? Second thing, the total amount of consumer debt that we have in America is $856 billion. B as in billion, right? Again, this is consumer debt. It doesn't include mortgage, car payments, and none of that, right? Again, it tells you how crazy our culture has become. We're just buying up a whole bunch of stuff that we don't need with money that we don't have in the first place, right? So my goal today is just to share a couple of things to help you get out of that cycle and put you on the way to start improving your finances and building wealth and making sure that future family generations are better off because of the decision that you made today, right? So Dave Ramsey has this thing called the 7 baby steps. Just for the purpose of today's conversation, I won't go into all of them. I'll just cover the first 4. But again, you can refer back to the Total Money Makeover and all of the steps will be in the book, right? So step number 1 is save up $1,000 as quickly as you can, right? So that'll be your emergency fund. The purpose of the emergency fund is to help you stay on track as you're on your journey of paying off debt. What happens to most people is that they're on track, they're excited, they start paying off credit card debt, but all of a sudden they get hit with an $800 car repair bill, and because they didn't have any money saved up, now you got to use your credit card, go back into debt, and you lose momentum, and it defeats the purpose of what you're doing. So save up $1,000 as quickly as you can so that in case you have an emergency, because you will have one, you're in a good position, right? Once you're done with that, step number 2 is now paying off your debt and attacking it aggressively. Now, when it comes to paying debt, you want to pay off the smallest credit card all the way up to the biggest one. What most people try to do is they try to pay off the credit card that has the highest interest rate. But the problem with that is if your credit card with the highest interest rate has a huge balance, it takes you forever to pay it off and you gain no momentum. But if you have a $500 credit card with no interest, and you focus on it and you pay it off in 2 months, all of a sudden you have momentum. Okay, I paid off the $500 card. That's done. Let's go up to the $1,000 card. Let's go up to a $4,000 card, etc., etc. As you do that, it becomes more effective and you make more money. You pay off more money faster. So don't worry about interest rate. Don't worry about doing math. Just follow the steps, right? As Dave Ramsey says, if you were so good at math, you probably wouldn't be in debt in the first place, right? So the baby step works. Just follow it and it'll make a big difference, right? Step number 3, once you have your starter emergency fund, you paid off all of your debt. Now you want to have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses into your savings account, right? So if you make $3,000 a month, 3 months worth of expenses will be $9,000. If you want to push it up to 6 months, it will be about $18,000. Now, if you were to have an emergency, if you were to lose a job or something as crazy as the pandemic, which we had just happened, and you were out of work and you were out of income, you have no debt, so you have peace of mind. You wouldn't owe anyone any money, right? And you could also cover all of your expenses for the next 6 months. So you have peace of mind, you have less headache, and you're in a much better position, right? Even in terms of relationship, the number one reason why most people get divorced is because of bad finances and bad money habits. So if you take care of the finances, everything in your life becomes so much easier and is much more simple, right? Now, once you're done saving up the 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, step number 4 is that you want to put 15% of your income into retirement, right? Whether it's a 401k and your company's matching it, whether it's like mutual fund, etc., etc. When it comes to that, you can reach out to your local like financial professional. They'll guide you, they'll give you advice. But again, moral of the story is that you want to have a budget. You want to stop letting your money go to waste and going all over the place, right? You want to be intentional. Every time that you're spending money, it should be helping you. It should help you make some sort of progress, right? And with budgeting, it gives you freedom. Once you're done paying off debt, you can allocate X amount of money for fun. Now you can go on vacation and enjoy it and not have to worry about the fact that you're going to spend the next month paying off the vacation, right? And as you do that, everything in your life will become different. So again, take care of your finances, take care of your money, and it'll take care of you in the long run. So with that, thank you and have a good one.